GMT watches are becoming more and more popular from what I can see. And I think the higher you get, the more you get into a gray area of what is the best GMT. And I'm going to put that in big air quotes because it's hard to nail that down. Now, a lot of people have preferences, but I think the one I have here today might just be the best GMT under $3,000. My name is Brad, and welcome back to Screamingpirate EDC. Now, if you have not been here before, typically I do EDC, everyday carry gear reviews, and a lot of pocket knives, and very few watches. But I am getting more and more into watches, and I'm excited to bring you this one from Monta. On my wrist and for the review is the Monta Skyquest. Now, this is in the Pepsi bezel with the gilt accents. Absolutely gorgeous. In love with this watch. Monta sent this out to me directly, but I am allowed to say whatever I feel about the watch. And to be honest, I've already given it away a little bit. I really do like it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so with the Monta Skyquest, we're going to go ahead and do some stats. I am impressed by the stats on this thing because it actually wears a lot slimmer than I thought it would. We're looking at just around 12 millimeters thick in your dimension here, and then lug to lug it's right around 46, might edge onto 47 millimeters, so it wears really nice on my 7.25 inch wrist. Now, this is my first experience with a GMT, and like I said, I did recently start my watch journey a couple years ago. Started out with a Hamilton, then I moved on to some nicer Seikos, and then I had an Oris, and I've then bounced around from there, really enjoying my Omega Aquaterra. I also have a few of the more micro brands, such as a Baltic, and I have reviewed a Formex. So I do have some experience with micro brands, and I have owned a Monta before. Now, it was one of their older Triumph models, not this one, which I believe is on their higher end. So the watch is very nicely fitting on a 7.25 inch wrist, like I just said, but what I'm really enjoying is my first experience with a GMT. Now, your bezel is not going to have the full number of clicks you might be used to because you're going to have a little bit less for time zones. So that's why that bezel looks like it rotates a little bit farther, and it is bi-directional, which is nice. So whenever you are setting possibly a third time zone, if you're just looking for that, then it's a little bit easier because of the bidirectional on the bezel. Now, this is an aluminum bezel, if I do remember correctly. Beautiful in the Pepsi. I really do like that a whole hell of a lot. Now, the other thing is for this watch that I've really enjoyed has been the micro adjustment on the bracelet. Now, for a long time, Rolex was really the only one that had it. I know that there are a few in the Tudor lineup now. I think most of them have brought it in, but I love seeing this on Monta watches. So all you do is pull the bracelet down here, and then it slides back and forth. So you have a little bit more adjustment to get it just right to your wrist. Really nice to see, really do like it. The lume on this is phenomenal. I'm able to see very, very well at night or in the dusk is mostly when I'm looking at the watch. Love to see that. Now, on to the GMT portion of this watch. Now, if you are not familiar with GMTs, there are more or less collar or true GMTs or office versus travelers. This is going to be an office or collar GMT. What that means is whenever you pull out the crown once here, you can move the date or the GMT hand. That's going to be the red hand here. If you pull it out one more time, you move both the hour and the minute hand. If you had a other kind of GMT, if you had the Traveler GMT, then you could pull out the hand all the way, or the crown all the way. I do apologize, guys. You can pull out the crown all the way and move just the hour hand and change the date, and then your GMT hand would stay in place and not move. Now, if I've missed some things there, I do apologize. This is my first GMT. Still learning, still really enjoying it. So if you have not had this watch or you do not have a way to see this watch in person, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. So up first, we have my Baltic Aqua Scaff. Now, this is around $700, and the Monta is going to be more like 2,500, but wanted you to see them next to each other so you have a diver versus more of a pilot's watch. After that, we have the Omega Aquaterra. Now, obviously, this is more of a sports watch, but they are very similar in your sizing. And then finally, I have the No Time to Die from Omega. Once again, diver versus pilot, non-GMT, but good sizes versus one another, because that Omega No Time to Die is going to be a Seamaster size. So if you can go check out a Seamaster, you generally know how the Monta is going to look. So what do I think overall about the Monta? I love the bezel, absolutely gorgeous. It is honestly, in person, looks and feels very similar to any Tudor I have tried on at my authorized dealer. And I mean really close. I would put this up against any Tudor, especially with the fit and finish. It's impressive. Now, there are some things that were quirky that I did not realize on a GMT, such as it being a collar GMT and learning about that. So that was a little bit of a learning curve. Obviously, I like having the micro adjustment bracelet, but if I were to change one big thing about this watch, I would have a quick change on the bracelet. Now, I know that's kind of unusual, but I feel like that's where a lot of watches are going, is towards quick change straps. Now, do I ever plan on changing out the bracelet because there is a micro adjustment? No, but it would be a nicety. Now, overall, I think that these polished edges and everything else are just really, really nice. And I've had no problems with the watch. It has been accurate for me in the time, about a month that I've had it, and everything has functioned properly. I've not had a single problem, and I've been wearing it pretty regularly, even wore it out to a baseball game. So overall, I do like the Skyquest. Now, I said it's the best under 3,000. Those are some big words right now when a lot of GMTs literally just got announced within the last couple weeks. We have a couple of new Seiko GMTs, but the big competitor here for just $200 more is going to be the new Longines Hydro Quest, because that is a true GMT, which is technically a little bit higher level on the complication. Well, same complication, a little bit nicer with the movement and how it works internally. Again, I'm new to GMTs. I apologize if I'm messing this up a little bit, guys. But that is right around 2,700, and this is around 2,499, give or take. That's really close, especially when you're paying that much for a watch, and it's a true GMT versus a collar. Really up to you. Personally, if I were out and buying this watch, I like the Pepsi. I like the way this looks. I like the micro adjustment. I like how it fits on my wrist. I feel like you're getting a little more niceties here than you do with the Longines. Now, is this watch right for you? That I can't tell you. But overall, I think that this is an amazing substitute to any Tudor. In fact, it might be on par with Tudor, and I think it's the best GMT under $3,000. Let me know what you think down below. Correct me if I've messed anything up on this review with this watch. I am still getting into watches myself. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Let me know what other watches you would like to see on the channel, and hopefully you have a great day.